Out of all of the fragrance discovery sets I have smelled, and I've smelled quite a few, Elysian Lineage collection is my favorite. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, discovery set rundowns, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. Okay, guys, I'm very, very excited to share this with you guys today. Elysian has become one of my favorite fragrance houses. Now, I had a video on them before, a lot of the Alchemy collection fragrances, and that's where I really fell in love. But Jessie, the owner, she really stepped up her game with this Lineage collection. She also, there is a price difference as well. If you guys have been on the site or if you go on the site and you notice the difference, the Lineage collection, I know that she sourced a lot more quality ingredients to use. She really elevated her brand a lot with this. She also reconstructed the bottles for this collection. So an already good house became even better with this collection, in my opinion. And she so kindly sent over the discovery set to me. I was very, very grateful. I do have a code, by the way, if you guys want to use it, you're more than welcome to. It is going to be on the screen. It'll be linked in the description. But after I did that video, my first video, I had some people ask if I was going to review this, and I let you guys know I definitely wanted to. And then here I am. There are 16 gorgeous fragrances in here, and some are more geared towards femininity, some are a little more masculine, and some are pretty unisex in my opinion. And I'm telling you guys, honestly, you guys I think know by now how honest I am. There's not one in here that I think is a bad fragrance. Maybe not every single one in here is for me or that I will get a full size of, but I want 10 to 12 full sizes out of 16. And that is a really high ratio for such a large discovery set. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to rank them actually for you guys, which was really hard. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about all 16. All right, you guys, so I took it out of the sleeve. Here we have my ranking. I have rearranged these a little bit. I did my first initial thoughts and ranking and actually took notes. I'm going to shout her out. This is Maria Colette's journal, Perfume journal. She is a YouTuber on here. She's so cute, so sweet, so hysterical. Really, really enjoy watching her videos. And she also has her own perfume channel. Yes, she does. She has her own perfume journal on Amazon. So I got this for Christmas. I asked for it. I also gifted it to a friend as well. And I took notes in here to get my first initial thoughts. And then I went back and wore them again, just in more of like a normal setting, not a testing setting. And I did rearrange a few. And I will say, you guys, like my top 10 on any given day, I would maybe switch them around, switch number 1 out. I just love them so much. And then you do have this little booklet too, which is really helpful. It's got the notes in it and kind of a description of the feel of the fragrance plus a picture of the bottles. So very, very helpful. I will probably be referencing this, by the way. Okay, coming in at number 16 at the very bottom, this is not a bad fragrance at all. It's just one of the more masculine ones. And this is Verdot. And to me, I get a really clean masculine man from this. There is some citrus in here, some bergamot and pineapple. There's a little bit of a leathery aspect to it, some oud and musk, but it's not overpowering. You may hear those notes and think like, whoa, like that's a strong beastie fragrance. I get more of a soapy, clean, like mountain man sort of vibe from this, like a rugged man who's been out doing some manual labor, and he's sexy. And he goes and takes a shower, dries off, wraps up in his towel, and he's standing there like around his waist, and you're like, you're fine. You smell clean and manly. That's what I get from this. So I think it's great. It's just not for me personally to wear. My husband actually likes a little different of a scent style than this as well. So I don't know if it's really for him, but I think it's sexy. It's just not for me. So it's number 16. All right, next up we have what is, I think, one of the most unique fragrances in here. It is also more masculine leaning. This is Temple of Echoes. And as soon as I smelled this, I think what I wrote down in the notes in the journal was like a cold, dark cave. This is a cold fragrance to me. It is also kind of a smoky, misty, very mysterious sort of fragrance. Maybe in Dracula's lair, he would wear this. I quite like it because it is so unique, but it's something I love smelling out of a bottle, not necessarily on myself, but I think, oh my, you know, men who are really into niche fragrances and like unique scents, I think would absolutely adore this. I'm looking in here. You have, in the booklet, you have cardamom, coconut milk, saffron, ginger, black pepper, vanilla, cashmere, sandalwood, amber oud, tonka, vetiver. It almost gives me a much, much more masculine, cold sort of baby cat sort of vibe, more unique. I really do like it a lot. I think it's fantastic. Just like I said, it's a little too masculine for me. But if you like unique, masculine niche fragrances that give sort of that stone cold vibe, oh, highly recommend. Okay, coming in at number 14 is Black Gardenia. I like the dry down of this a little bit better than the opening. Gardenia is a floral that I don't love, and I don't hate it either. Sometimes I like it more than others. Same thing with honey. Well, actually, I can love honey and I can hate honey. So this is kind of like an in-between for me with both of these notes in here. You have more going on than just that, but there's also some violet, which I do love. There's a little bit of powderiness in here. There's something kind of funky in here, and I don't mean funky in a bad way. Like, that is a term that can be a good thing in fragrance. So slightly almost animalic. I don't know if it's the black honey, but I like it. It's just my nose is still adjusting to it a little bit, and it's one that I don't mind wearing. It just would never be a favorite for me, but I can definitely appreciate the kind of juxtaposition between this like delicate gardenia and something a little bit darker in here, mysterious. So I think it's nice. It's just not my personal favorite. Okay, coming in at number 13 is Fairest of Them All. And with the marketing of this one, I thought I was really, really gonna love it. I like it, but I've got others that I like so much more. But this is an apple fragrance, and it's very tart. It also has, to me, this is the most, out of all 16, this is the most, I don't wanna say dated, because I don't mean that in a bad way, kind of just a little bit nostalgic. It gives me sort of a shampoo-y sort of vibe. I have some Britney Spears fragrances that kind of remind me of this a little bit, except they don't smell as expensive as this. This does not smell cheap. It smells like a very just kind of expensive tart appley shampoo. So that I like that sometimes. I think that this would be fun on a really hot day. I could picture wearing this because it kind of has like a freshness to it as well. But I don't like it as much as I thought that I would. But if you like that sort of shampoo-y vibe, tart apple vibe, you might really like Fairest of Them All. All right, coming in at number 12 is Sonder. So this is another men's fragrance, and I love it. I love it. I mean, it is number 12, but that does not mean that I don't love it. It's just, I mean, it's more masculine, but it is so sexy. I would love this on my husband. It is kind of juicy and fresh. You have citrus in here. You have lemon, bergamot, green apple, ginger. The ginger's gorgeous in this. It's not too spicy. Sometimes ginger can be very, very spicy. This is just the right amount. some velvety, vetiver, sandalwood, jasmine, vanilla. This is a gorgeous men's fragrance. I think if you're someone that likes Aventus, Creed Aventus, I think that you would really like this, but I don't think it's like an exact dupe of it, although it does have some similar notes to it. Really, really pretty. I actually just got in Electimus Imperium. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but a little bit tartar in a good way. And I think it's really, really pretty. Would love this on if you're a man watching. Sonder is sexy. All right, coming in at number 11 is Moon Petals. Now, we are getting into ones I'd like to have a full size of. So just because it's 11 does not mean that I don't love this. I also love the bottle of it, by the way. It says gorgeous, like lilac, so pretty. But this one is very soft and ethereal. It's like being on a bed of jasmine petals, very girly. I know that Jessie said in the podcast that I adore, but my friend Rocio, she interviewed Jessie for her podcast. I'll link all of that in the description for you guys. It's fantastic. I learned so much from Jessie just listening to how Elysian has really progressed and her thought process behind things. And it's a wonderful podcast. I really enjoy it. So I will link it. But I know that she said Rocio had asked her, what would you wear to a gala or something like that, or an event? And she said this one. And I can see why. It's very understated and elegant and feminine, kind of a princessy sort of perfume without being too sweet. You have marine in here, which I don't get a ton of, although there is something unusual about this when I first sprayed it, and I think it is that marine note, not knowing exactly that that's what it was. You have pink peppercorn, you have some whipped cream, peach, coconut milk, sweet vanilla, or sweet violet, creamy vanilla, cashmere wood, sandalwood, amberette musk. I do get a really soft, silky cashmere bed of jasmine petals with this. It's very, very pretty, very, very feminine, very understated. Okay, next we have Jalous. I'm not exactly sure. You guys, I love this fragrance. Actually, if you are someone that likes Creed Aventus, this is so much better, I think, because this is a kind of charred pineapple-y scent. It's sort of tropical and beachy in a masculine way, but I think this one is fairly unisex. I think I could get away with wearing this as well, but it has that sort of charred pineapple to it as opposed to a really bright, juicy pineapple. It's more of this darker charred pineapple. I just imagine like a beach fire and sticking a pineapple like right into the fire and charring it up is what I get from this. But it's so sexy too. This is like sexy island man, but I think a woman can wear it too. Okay, next we have Cafe Avellana. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is such a unique, well done coffee gourmand. I think of all of the coffee fragrances that I've smelled or that are out right now are any of those biscuit gourmands. Gourmands have been so popular for the last 2 years, really. This takes those kind of sometimes cheapy smelling fragrances that smell great. I talked about this before, that I think gourmands should not cost a lot of money because they can smell great, but they don't smell expensive. It's like she somehow took those elements of coffee and a biscuity kind of croissant vibe and made it really elegant, wearable, and perfectly blended. People who think coffee is too bitter or overpowering in a fragrance, this is not. It is subtle. It is like you are sitting, I've never been to France, but I'm just like assuming like in a little French cafe, and so exquisite, so expensive smelling, Still smelling it's this one's very unisex to me too. I think it could go either way, honestly. It's really beautifully done. I think one of the best coffee pastry fragrances ever. Okay, we're at number 7. This one, I'm waiting to get a full size next, probably fall, because this is a very cold weather and I'm already like looking at spring, summer, yay. This is Blackwood and Bourbon. And I know this is in the men's, but this is so unisex to me. It is so gorgeous. This is a Christmas fragrance to me. This last Christmas, I wore Maison d'Aba's Silent Night. And that one has elements of kind of this spiciness with a little bit of booze and a little bit of like piney sort of smell. It smells very Christmas Eve to me. So it was my Christmas Eve fragrance. I want this to be my Christmas Eve fragrance. This is having a nice whiskey, scotch, bourbon, something like that, a darker liqueur by the fireplace with a little bit of just like cinnamon in the air. It is so gorgeous and cozy and sexy. This is one I think that a man or a woman could wear. Kind of like it doesn't smell like Maison Margiela's replica by the fireplace, but how that one is very unisex is how I feel like this is. Definitely want this to be my next Christmas Eve fragrance. Okay, coming in at number 6, this one got moved up for me from my initial thoughts. This is La Belle Vanille. Does it kind of sound like La Belle Jean-Paul Gaultier? Yes. Does it kind of have that element to it? It does. I have a couple of fragrances, honestly, that remind me a lot of this. Another one is Marina de Bourbon's Diamond Princess. That one is kind of like a hidden gem that I adore. And it's a French house. This does smell a lot like it. It may not be the most unique, and that's why I had it down low. I was like, this smells great, but it just wasn't that unique to me. You guys, I wore this just on a regular day, not in my testing day, and I couldn't stop smelling myself. And I remember I was laying in bed that evening, I think on my phone, watching TV or something like that, and I was just like, I feel like I'm in a cocoon of just a gorgeous, expensive vanilla fragrance, sophisticated. I feel like I have a lot of money. It's that type of fragrance for me. It's very classic. I think out of all of these, this is the most classic and timeless, I would say. This one and my number 1, I think, are just elegant, class, sophistication, smells expensive, not too far out of the box, very wearable. So it got moved up for me. And I think this could be like a signature scent worthy scent. Okay, coming in at number 5, this is the other one that I think is the most unique. This is Sucre de Soie. And this is so unusual and really rattled my senses and my brain and like my nose brain. I'm like, what am I smelling here? This is like an exotic, almost smells like an Asian dessert to me. I've been dabbling in Mochi Glow. It's a very affordable scent brand. They have candles and fragrances, and all their fragrances are Asian desserts and drinks. I feel like this could almost fit in there with theirs, except this is a little bit more expensive smelling, but you have lots of fruits in here, lots of sweet fruits. So the guava really stands out. And then you have this sort of whipped, fluffy element to it, but it was unlike anything that my nose had ever smelled. It truly reminds me, I wouldn't doubt it if this was like an Asian, ice cream flavor of something that I had never tasted before. That's the kind of vibe that this gives me. It's rare when something is like so sweet like this and kind of gourmand smelling and fruity that feels completely new, which this does. This is, if you want to smell sweet and just kind of like this exotic fluffy goodness that nobody else has smelled before, then you're gonna love this. Okay, number 4 is Sombre Douceur. And this is a gorgeous tea and fig fragrance. And if there's something that I love, it is a tea and fig fragrance. This is so classy and elegant. This is like girl at the tea party who has a lot of money, who is very well traveled, who smells just like an astute, classy lady. I think this is so gorgeous. It's cozy and inviting and just, I feel like this could go either way of being like a social fragrance, but this is also like curl up in a blanket type of vibes as well. It is a beautiful tea and fig fragrance. If you love tea and fig, you have to get your nose on this one. Okay, number 3, this was so hard. I go back and forth with number 3 and number 2. This is Opal Cove. When I sprayed this, I messaged my friend Sarah and said, this is, you're stranded on a desert island with the hottest guy and you're so happy about it, you don't even care because you're in like paradise and you got your hot man and you just camped up and decided you're gonna live there forever and you let, it's very specific, and you drink out of coconuts and you hang your laundry out on the beach blowing in the wind, and like this is what you smell like. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. That's the picture I get painted in my head with this. It is a gorgeous coconut milk beachy fragrance that does not smell sunscreeny, that does not smell like anything else I've ever smelled. It has like an ever so slight saltiness to it, but like a very milky smoothness to it as well, without having that like really strong white or yellow tropical florals in it either. It is just very natural smelling. And I mean, kind of how I was like, well, I'd want to stay on the island forever. Like I'd want to wear this forever. It's beautiful. Okay, I think it got mixed up in there somewhere in my numbers. Dang it. I think now we're on number 3. Okay, Cocoa and Capri. These could switch places, definitely. But this is one of the men's, but oh my gosh, I would wear this on any day. This is the most juicy, burst in your mouth, sort of limey citrus, summery fragrance I've ever smelled. The lime that I get from this is delicious. It is so pretty. And you also have some coconut in here too. And it's sort of aquatic, it's bright, it's fresh. It has just the right amount of sweetness mixed with some tartness. Man, woman, I don't care who it is. This is stunning. This is a gorgeous, fresh, limey burst of goodness, summer fun, freaking love Cocoa and Capri. Okay, now at number 2, I chose to put Pen and Pear. And while I'm not sure it gets me as excited as even like the last 2, it is rare when I fall madly in love with a pear fragrance, and I've always wanted to. That is a fruit that I like in fragrances, but I never love. And I love this. And so for that reason, finally finding a pear that I, yes, want a full size of, I love it. I also wore this recently roller skating for the first time in 30 years. And so now I've got this new memory tie with it. It was so fun and freeing, and I was smelling like this, and I was like, this doesn't smell like childhood to me. It's much more elegant than that, but it was something about the juxtaposition of elegance and class mixed with childlike freedom that was a beautiful combination, and now I love it. It is a stunningly beautiful, elegant pear fragrance. If you love pear, well then you just met your new best friend. And for my number 1 absolute favorite, hands down for me, is Charmante. Charmante, oh my goodness, you guys. This was one that as soon as I sprayed it, I knew it was an instant love for me. Here recently, I have fallen in love with Electimus Mercurial Cashmere. If you happen to know that fragrance, then awesome. If you don't, well, get your nose on it. It's gorgeous. That was one that just as soon as I smelled it, I was like, I need a full size. Immediately after smelling the sample, I felt the same way with this one. It gave me the same sort of feel. Not the same type of fragrance, but that very addictive, desirable fragrance that I want to smell like is what I get with this. So this is equal parts sort of bubbly with this pink champagne in here, but it also has a real silky smoothness to it as well. It's a little bit fruity. It's very flirty. So this has a very creamy amber to it, which is very new to my nose. Like sometimes amber, a lot of times amber is warm. Sometimes it's almost like crystally in a way. This is very smooth and silky, this amber in here. You have some blonde woods, that bubbliness running through, and then you also have apricot and pear blossom. To me, this is what the most beautiful woodland fairy would wear. Even though it's not overly woody, I just picture a sparkling fairy going along with her little dust, intoxicating people all around her. It is so flirty, so pretty, so beautiful, an instant love for me that I knew this will be a full size. It is already in my cart. I'm having the hardest time paring down which fragrances that I'm going to go ahead and grab full size. It will be a process. They are not cheap. These are quality fragrances, you guys. High quality. I think that they are worth every penny that they are. If you can use a code, I would recommend it because that will knock off the price some. But this is definitely one of my #1 picks that I'm going to purchase without a doubt. But that is it, you guys. Those are my thoughts about this gorgeous discovery set from Elysian. And I'm so enamored with this house, with Jessie as a person. She has done just an exquisite job with this discovery set. And I hope that this helps you guys out in making some decisions. You know, when you are spending a lot of money on fragrances, you need to have as much, you know, information as possible. And I do recommend this discovery set. I do. I think it is fantastic. Let me know which one of these is the most intriguing sounding to you. I thank you so much for watching. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping, and smelling fabulous. Bye.